At the cross her station keeping, stood the mournful mother weeping, close to Jesus to the last. Hello, and welcome to A Word of Hope for September 15th, the Feast of Our Lady of Sorrows. You recognize that tune, I'm sure, the Stabat Mater, the song that we sing in between each station of the cross. I remember it so well from my youth when I was growing up with my family, going to Stations of the Cross every Friday night during Lent. That song has 20 verses. The second is very poignant. Through her heart his sorrow sharing, all his bitter anguish bearing, now at length the sword had passed. Talking about the sword that passed through the heart and the soul of Mary, the mother of Jesus. It comes directly from the Gospel of St. Luke, one of the optional Gospels that we have for this day, in which Joseph and Mary bring the child Jesus to the temple for the ritual cleansing and blessing. Simeon, a holy, holy man in the temple, is there, saying wonderful things about him that is just astounding Mary and Joseph. And then the Gospel says, Simeon blessed them and said to Mary, his mother, Behold, this child is destined for the fall and rise of many in Israel, and to be a sign that will be contradicted. And you yourself a sword will pierce. We know that well. We know the suffering that she endured as she stood at the foot of the cross and watched her son die on the cross for the sake of all of humanity. It's an opportunity for us in celebrating Mary and her motherhood to simply think about the suffering that all mothers are willing to endure for the sake of their daughters and sons. What a grace and a blessing and a witness you have been to all of us and continue to be to all of us. One of the most poignant examples of suffering of mothers that I've ever experienced was on my trips to El Salvador, when I met with the mothers of the disappeared and heard the stories of their loss of their sons in the war that was going on in El Salvador. Let us take this day to thank God for the example, the witness of Mary, who was willing to suffer so much for the sake of her son, and use it to thank one another, to thank our mothers for the holy, holy example of your willingness to bear suffering whenever necessary for the sake of your children. Thank you, and God bless you.